Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. So today we're going to go over why Elizabeth Warren would not win a 2020 general election against President Trump. There are a number of factors that would say that she would win, including the approval rating polls, but overall Elizabeth Warren is not that strong of a candidate. People might perceive her as one. She's not a Hillary Clinton. She is not a moderate Democrat. She is on the progressive side, nearing the Bernie Sanders spectrum, and that's one of the main reasons why she would eventually fail in a general election. So we're going to go through a map. These predictions often change from when I did my previous election night, so if they've changed, I've done Elizabeth Warren twice now, and things change rapidly. I mean, the electoral map drastically changed from 2016 October to 2016 November. We saw that sudden shift towards the Trump presidency nearing the end, and things change, and we're 3 years out, and we're just going to go through it now. I'm going to just talk about why I think Elizabeth Warren would lose the general election. So we're not going to give Trump any states that are solidly blue. So we're going to fill in all the solid blue states now. New Mexico, I'm not going to fill in just yet. Illinois would be safe blue. Of course, the Northeast keeps its blue identity. Maryland, District of Columbia, New York, Vermont. One electoral vote from Maine. I'm not going to touch that part of Maine just yet. And pretty much, I think I'm forgetting a state. Well, we're just going to leave it here for now. So these are all the safe Democratic states, excluding parts of the Rust Belt. Pretty much these are just the safe Democratic states. The leading Democratic states that I think Warren could hold on to if she played her cards right would be states like Virginia, states like New Mexico, but states like Minnesota, but I'm not going to fill in Minnesota just yet. In New Hampshire, I think that she could hold on to that one, especially since she's from Massachusetts, but I'm just going to leave it in her column for now. We're going to talk about how Trump could win that state. But overall, I'll just consider these as leaning or safe Warren states. Now, the states that would truly be toss-ups are states like Colorado. They're always toss-ups every election year, so I'm not going to fill that in. We're going to fill in all the safe red states. So Utah, Idaho, Alaska, Montana, Wyoming, pretty much all the solid Trump states. We're actually going to leave the 2nd Congressional District from the state of Nebraska just up, even though I don't think that Warren would have a chance at winning it. I'm going to leave it just up because Hillary Clinton came close to winning it, and we don't really need to fill it in just yet. In a general election against Elizabeth Warren, I don't think she can make a state like Georgia competitive. That's why I'm going to leave it in the Trump column. If Hillary Clinton didn't do well in Georgia, Elizabeth Warren likely won't. If we're looking in North Carolina, I got a comment on my recent YouTube video saying that it's not trending more Republican, but I mean they didn't vote for Obama in 2012. They voted for Obama by 14,000 votes in 2008, even though the state of Indiana voted for Obama more than the state of North Carolina did. So North Carolina has always been somewhat of a Republican stronghold. Remember, even Bill Clinton didn't carry that state, and the Bush legacy continued to carry it through every single general election that had Bush involved. And pretty much that, I think that North Carolina is going to keep its Republican identity unless they nominate someone like Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders, someone who can actually inspire the voters and unify the Democratic Party. Personally, I do think this would be another one of those Democratic parties breaking away. But this time, I think the Clinton voters, although they may back Warren because she is a woman, there will be those conservative part of the conservative Democrats and the independent Democrats and the moderate Democrats who may be iffy about voting for Warren. And I think Trump will viciously attack Warren even more than he did so for Hillary Clinton. And I think that that's definitely going to hurt him, especially since her name is already out here. Hillary Clinton's name was thought of in 2012. But then in 2013, she said, hey, I'm not going to run. But then she resigned a couple months later. So people started to realize. But Warren has been in that name, had that name recognition forever. And you could make the argument that Hillary Clinton did. Elizabeth Warren, she's not as likable as Hillary Clinton. I know people are going to say, hey, Hillary Clinton wasn't liked at all in the country. Well, you have to realize that the majority of Americans voted for her. Elizabeth Warren she's not perceived as that strong female candidate across the country. She may be to the Bernieites of the Democratic Party and the women backers in the Democratic Party, but overall consensus across the United States, in the same poll that was administered, Trump was beating Warren by 4% and Joe Biden was beating Trump by 14%. So there's obviously some disconnect between the two. And so right now we're at 205 for Warren to 194 for Trump. Let's be honest, I don't think any Democrats, unless they're super strong candidates, could flip Iowa or Ohio, unless there's a home state factor involved. But these two states really, I don't think that the Democratic Party is going to focus that much energy into. I don't even think they'll even consider holding the DNC in either of these. I think they'll focus in states like Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania again, Florida possibly. but the Republican Party made a good move holding it in Cleveland. And being honest, I don't think Trump could really win. I think he could win parts of Maine, but I don't think that first congressional district is going up, so that's why I'm leaving it there. And then we're going to move on to Pennsylvania. You know, Pennsylvania voted for Trump by less than 1%, 44,000 votes after the final ballots were counted. And we're going to have to think about that. If Warren is not able to appeal to the Pennsylvania voters, then she's not going to be able to win them over. The state of Pennsylvania voted for Hillary Clinton in the Democratic primary. They like moderate Democrats. They just voted for Trump because of the Obama legacy and the Democratic legacy that left a bad taste in their mouths after 28 years of voting for the Democratic candidate. And you're going to have to think about that and to take that all into account. If Donald Trump is able to appeal to the Pennsylvania voters again and Warren alienates enough of the Democratic Party, he will win that state again. So I'm going to leave that one in his column. Michigan, that one's a little iffy. His approval ratings are underwater here. And honestly, this is the state that he won the least, and I'm not going to go to it just yet. Wisconsin is a different case. Donald Trump has been holding a bunch of rallies in Wisconsin. I think he's trying to get his base out there early in Wisconsin just to have a full-fledged force during the primary season, because I do think someone might try to primary him. I don't think they'll come close, but I think it'll be enough to rile up the Trump voters again. And in the state of Wisconsin, I'm going to have to think about this one hard, because Warren could campaign here. They could hold the DNC here. But Warren is not that candidate. She's not that inspiring candidate. She's very dull, per se. I mean, sure, she campaigns well, she does speeches well, but when you hear her talk, it sounds like she's a traditional politician, and it doesn't sound like it's coming truly from the heart. I mean, if you look at Bernie Sanders, a lot of people think that he may want what's best for America, but he's going about it the wrong way. He seems like that type of person. Hillary Clinton did not do that, nor do I think Elizabeth Warren would, and I think that it would just be close to a repeat of what happened in 2016. So in the state of Wisconsin, I don't think they're going to hear her message loud and clear. You know, even though this one was competitive in the Democratic primary, I don't think Warren will be able to really take back those voters that actually take the voters that voted for Clinton out of reluctance for Trump. And I don't think that she'll be able to fully unify the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is pretty much split right now, and if Warren is coming from the progressive left, sure, she has the name recognition, but so did Hillary Clinton. And Hillary Clinton had more name recognition in 2016 than Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren campaigned on Hillary Clinton's behalf, but personally, I don't think she'll, number one, unify the Democratic Party, and I think she'll alienate an even bigger base than Hillary Clinton did with her far-left policies. So I'm going to give Wisconsin to Trump. The state of Minnesota, I'm not going to go to just yet. If we look in Florida, the state of Florida, that one is interesting, because if we take Florida, that one voted for Trump with 100,000 votes more than Clinton. Everyone thought that Clinton would at least be competitive in that state, but Donald Trump outperformed what Barack Obama did in 2012, and he beat Mitt Romney overwhelmingly more than Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton. And Warren won't be able to really appeal to all those voters down there that are saying, hey, maybe Trump is a bad guy, but we need an inspiring Democratic candidate. And the people in Florida overwhelmingly voted for Hillary Clinton in the Democratic primary. The radical left or the progressive left, depending on which side is the eventual nominee, I'm not calling Warren the radical left, but the progressive left, which would fall under the Elizabeth Warren column, can't really appeal to all those senior citizens. She can't really appeal to all those moderate Democrats that voted for Obama but gave Trump a chance, which is why I think she'll alienate a lot of the Democratic base down here, giving Trump a victory over her. And then we're going to have to look in states like Colorado and Arizona and Nevada. Arizona, I don't think that one would be close with Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren would not have be able to appeal to Latino voters. Tim Kaine being fluent in Spanish and coming from a state like Virginia could have helped Hillary Clinton in Arizona. I think it was just a general distaste for the president. Now that Arizona is turning their back on Jeff Flake, that one could be, that's going to be tough. And Arizona, I think that it would go to Trump. If it went for Trump against Hillary Clinton, I think that it would go for Trump again against Elizabeth Warren. I think they'll get some of their Republican identity back. But I still think they could become competitive if Warren plays her cards right. But as of right now, I think she's appealing to the wrong side of the Democratic Party, not the party that's got previous Democrats elected. And so far, we haven't had any real progressive presidents in the modern political age, starting up from around Reagan up. So pretty much, I don't think that Warren is appealing to the right side of the Democratic Party, nor do I think she'll be able to take a lot of those Republican voters. And if we look in a state like Nevada, that one was close in 2016. The polls showed Trump beating Clinton in that state. but it went for Hillary Clinton, as we all know. So we're going to have to think about it. Hey, Warren could bring back these Clinton voters and hold on to the state. But the fact that the margins were so small, I do think that Donald Trump could narrowly edge out Warren here. Clinton barely had a barely had the Latino vote in her grasp. I mean, she did less than Obama did, and Donald Trump spoke out against illegal immigrants and called them rapists and killers and things like that. And that definitely did hurt him in the general election. If he didn't say that, I think he would have won the state of Nevada in the general election. But he didn't, and Hillary Clinton was able to use her Obama legacy to really appeal to those Obama voters from before. Warren's not tied to any of them. She only campaigned for them on instances and spoke at the DNC, but she doesn't have that Obama coalition behind her, nor does she have the name, sorry, not the name recognition, the party unity partially behind her. I don't think Warren would win the Nevada primary and the Democratic primaries, and if you notice that Hillary Clinton won a lot of the states she won in the Democratic primary, just by pretty much holding on to the same voters that voted her in the primary season. So I think that Warren would lose the state of Nevada narrowly. I don't think she'll be able to appeal to Latino voters the same way Hillary Clinton did, and that's saying a lot. And looking at a state like Colorado, you know, Donald Trump's weed stance isn't really that appealing to the people of Colorado. His approval ratings are pretty much underwater here. And, you know, I'm just going to leave this one in the Warren column. We could go over to a debate about how Colorado would vote, but new polls just came out with approval ratings around 35%. So I'm not going to make a too confident call for Trump, so I'm just going to leave it in the Democratic column. Nebraska is probably not going to flip. That's just history telling us that it's only flipped once, and that was for Obama. It was close with Clinton versus Trump. I don't think Warren would do as well as Clinton. If we look in a state like Maine, the 2nd Congressional District wasn't even a contest in 2016. Sorry. It wasn't even a contest, and you're going to have to think that, hey, Hillary Clinton lost this by around 10% in double digits, and Donald Trump was able to hold on to this area. And Barack Obama won it by double digits as well. So this was a huge dramatic swing from where they voted in 2012. The state of Maine voted for Hillary by around 3%. That's very close. Although that Donald Trump did make it close in 2016, Elizabeth Warren still has that northeastern appeal, and I think she could hold on to Maine at large narrowly. Let's go back to the state of Michigan. The state of Michigan narrowly went for Trump in 2016. But I don't think that Warren would be able to hold on to it. Even though there are some times where I do think that Warren could go to the state of Michigan and actually win those voters there, she would have to bring out the base in Flint, Michigan, bring out the base in areas that are areas like Detroit, where they have high minority populations, and bring them out to vote. If Hillary Clinton couldn't do it under Obama, holding multiple rallies in Michigan at the last minute, the state of Michigan did not vote for her, and her having the Obama coalition behind her did not help her, and I don't think that Warren will be able to do better than Hillary Clinton in the state of Michigan, even though Donald Trump's approval ratings are lower. And in the state of Minnesota, a very close state in 2016, Hillary Clinton narrowly won the state over Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump would actually win the state of Minnesota. The reason behind it is I don't think that Elizabeth Warren will be able to appeal to a lot of the Democratic Party there, nor will she be able to really win over those voters that are saying, hey, maybe I shouldn't vote for Trump. I'm an independent voter. Show me what I can get under your administration. Can I get independent ideals, not far-left ideals? The only reason why I think Bernie Sanders or someone like Tulsi Gabbard would win is because they're inspiring. Elizabeth Warren is pretty dull. She isn't like, hey, we need to get out the vote. She really just yells. That's pretty much all she does in her speeches. And I'm not saying this as I hate Elizabeth Warren. This is an objective view of what she does. She's not as inspiring as Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders riles up the crowd like Donald Trump does. I think Tulsi Gabbard could do the same, especially with the Sanders space behind her with big crowds. But Warren probably won't be able to do that. Warren is already perceived as the establishment, which will turn off the same part of the Democratic Party she's going to. And her far-left ideals will also turn off a lot of the moderate Democratic Party. So overall, I think this would be the final map if Elizabeth Warren ran in 2020 and won the nomination. She would win 216 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 322, give or take a few states. A lot of them could be contested, but this is with the final map as of today. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you all tomorrow.